The civilization of ancient Egypt has long fascinated scholars, travelers, archaeologists, and storytellers because it embodies a world shrouded in magnificence and enigma. The pyramids rise above the desert like eternal guardians, colossal monuments that have stood for thousands of years, silent witnesses to a past that still resists complete comprehension. Despite centuries of excavation, research, and debate, there remain mysteries that continue to evade explanation, secrets that refuse to yield to the methods of modern science, leaving us with more questions than answers. These unsolved mysteries form the core of Egypt's enduring allure, for they suggest that even with all our advancements, the past still hides truths we cannot yet uncover. One of the greatest puzzles lies with the pyramids themselves. The Great Pyramid of Giza, constructed during the reign of Pharaoh Khufu around 4,500 years ago, remains a riddle not only in its architectural precision but also in the question of how it was built. The blocks used in its construction, weighing several tons each, were somehow transported, lifted, and fitted together with remarkable accuracy. The traditional explanation involving ramps has been challenged by many who point out the logistical difficulties of building ramps of sufficient size, stability, and height, as well as the massive labor force such a system would require. The alignment of the pyramid with the cardinal directions and the astonishing precision of its dimensions suggest an advanced understanding of mathematics and astronomy that some argue surpasses what should have been possible in that era. Even the internal structure, with its hidden chambers, shafts, and mysterious voids detected by modern scanning technology, adds to the sense that we are only scratching the surface of understanding how and why this monument was built. Beyond construction methods, there is also the question of purpose. While the pyramids are generally considered to be tombs for pharaohs, no body has ever been definitively found inside the Great Pyramid. The idea that it was solely a burial place is challenged by the absence of decoration, inscriptions, and funerary items typical of Egyptian tombs. Some theorists propose that the pyramids may have served as giant power plants, astronomical observatories, or centers for spiritual initiation. Although mainstream archaeology does not endorse these theories, the lack of definitive proof leaves room for speculation. Perhaps the pyramids had multiple purposes, or perhaps their true function is something we still cannot imagine. Equally mysterious is the Sphinx, that colossal statue with the body of a lion and the head of a human that guards the Giza Plateau. The Sphinx is usually attributed to Pharaoh Khafra, but questions linger about its age and origin. Geological studies of erosion patterns on the Sphinx suggest that it may be far older than the 4th dynasty, possibly predating the pyramids themselves. If this is true, then it implies the existence of a lost civilization with advanced artistic and engineering abilities long before the rise of pharaonic Egypt. Furthermore, the face of the Sphinx has been argued by some researchers to not resemble Khafra but rather another ruler or even a different figure entirely. Theories abound that hidden chambers lie beneath the Sphinx, potentially containing records or treasures that could rewrite our understanding of history. Despite numerous studies and limited excavations, no conclusive evidence has emerged, leaving the Sphinx to continue its silent watch, holding its secrets close. Another unsolved mystery of ancient Egypt lies with the so-called Dendera light. Found in carvings at the Temple of Hathor at Dendera, these reliefs depict figures holding objects that some interpret as resembling modern electric bulbs. According to mainstream Egyptologists, the carvings represent lotus flowers, serpents, and ritual symbolism. Yet alternative researchers argue that the resemblance to electrical technology is too striking to dismiss, suggesting that the ancient Egyptians might have possessed knowledge of electricity long before it was supposedly discovered. Whether these depictions are symbolic, ritualistic, or literal remains unresolved, and the debate continues to fuel speculation about forgotten technologies. Even the process of mummification contains enigmas that defy explanation. The ancient Egyptians developed sophisticated techniques for preserving bodies, using resins, oils, and other materials in ways that have astonished modern scientists. In some cases, the preservation is so effective that even after thousands of years, skin, hair, and even tattoos remain intact. The exact recipes and methods used by the embalmers are not fully understood, and certain mummies appear to have undergone treatments that differ from known techniques. There are even mummies that show evidence of advanced chemical preservation methods that scientists struggle to replicate today. Why did the Egyptians put so much effort into perfecting this art, and how did they discover these methods? The texts left behind are often vague, written in symbolic language that may hide more than it reveals, leaving us to wonder if the knowledge of mummification was partially lost even in antiquity. The discovery of strange artifacts also adds to the list of Egyptian mysteries. The so-called Saqqara bird, a small wooden carving found in a tomb, resembles a bird but also has features similar to a glider or aircraft. Some have speculated that it might be evidence of an ancient understanding of aerodynamics, though mainstream scholars insist it is simply a stylized bird figurine. Likewise, the so-called Baghdad battery, though found outside Egypt, is often associated with discussions of ancient technologies that might have been shared across regions. If such knowledge existed, could Egypt have been part of a wider ancient network of civilizations with advanced technologies that later vanished? Hieroglyphs themselves present unsolved questions. While we have largely deciphered the system thanks to the Rosetta Stone, some symbols remain ambiguous and certain texts defy clear interpretation. For example, inscriptions at Abydos seem to depict what look like modern vehicles such as helicopters, submarines, and airplanes. Scholars explain these as examples of palimpsest, where older carvings were overwritten and created accidental shapes, yet alternative researchers claim that the resemblance is too uncanny to ignore. Whether coincidence, artistry, or evidence of lost knowledge, these depictions spark endless debates. The lives and deaths of certain pharaohs also remain shrouded in mystery. Tutankhamun, perhaps the most famous of all, died young and under unclear circumstances. His tomb, discovered almost intact by Howard Carter in 1922, contained treasures that astonished the world, but his mummy raised more questions than answers. Examinations suggest he may have suffered from genetic disorders, physical disabilities, or even been the victim of an accident or assassination. The hasty and unusual burial practices, the anomalies in his tomb's construction, and the lingering question of whether a hidden chamber might still exist behind the walls all add layers of mystery to his story. The supposed curse of the pharaohs that befell some of those who entered the tomb has also entered legend, blurring the line between fact and myth. Even broader mysteries exist when considering how Egypt rose to such extraordinary heights of civilization seemingly so quickly. The sudden emergence of writing, monumental architecture, organized religion, and centralized government in the early dynastic period has led some to wonder whether knowledge was inherited from an earlier, lost civilization. Theories about Atlantis, extraterrestrial influence, or survivors of an ancient global catastrophe have all been suggested, though none proven. The sheer scale of Egypt's achievements continues to suggest that something unique occurred there that set it apart from other ancient cultures. The religious and spiritual beliefs of the Egyptians also contain secrets we struggle to comprehend fully. Their complex pantheon of gods, rituals, and afterlife beliefs are documented in texts such as the Book of the Dead, yet much remains obscure. Did the Egyptians truly believe in the literal journey of the soul through the afterlife, or were these texts symbolic representations of spiritual processes? Some scholars argue that Egyptian religion encoded deep metaphysical knowledge, perhaps even scientific principles hidden in allegory. For example, the emphasis on balance, harmony, and cosmic order embodied in the concept of Ma'at might have connections to natural laws that we still do not fully grasp. The phenomenon of lost tombs adds another dimension to the mysteries. While we have uncovered many royal tombs in the Valley of the Kings and elsewhere, many more remain hidden. The tomb of Cleopatra, the last pharaoh of Egypt, has never been found, and its location continues to be debated. Likewise, the burial place of Alexander the Great, who ruled Egypt after conquering it, is also lost to history. Discovering such tombs could revolutionize our understanding of Egypt's later history and its interactions with other cultures. But until then, these tombs remain as tantalizing mysteries that may lie hidden beneath sand and stone. There is also the mystery of Egyptian medicine. Ancient papyri such as the Edwin Smith Papyrus and the Ebers Papyrus reveal medical knowledge that is startling in its sophistication. The Egyptians practiced surgery, dentistry, and pharmacology in ways that sometimes anticipate modern methods. Yet other practices appear bizarre or magical to us, mixing incantations with treatments. How did they develop such knowledge, and what sources did they draw upon? Were they experimenting with trial and error, or did they inherit techniques from an older, forgotten system of science? The sheer endurance of Egypt's monuments is itself a mystery. Structures like the pyramids, temples, and obelisks have survived thousands of years, withstanding earthquakes, floods, and the ravages of time, while modern buildings often collapse within centuries. What materials and methods did the Egyptians use to ensure such durability? Theories about geopolymer concrete, advanced stone cutting techniques, and lost construction technologies abound, but definitive proof remains elusive. The precision with which massive stones were cut and placed, sometimes with tolerances of fractions of an inch, suggests tools or methods we do not fully understand. As excavations continue, new discoveries only deepen the mysteries rather than resolve them. The finding of hidden voids in the Great Pyramid, unexplored tunnels beneath temples, and artifacts whose purposes are unknown all point to the idea that much of Egypt's past remains buried. Every discovery seems to open new questions, challenging our assumptions and forcing us to reconsider what we thought we knew. Ultimately, the unsolved mysteries of ancient Egypt endure because they remind us of the limits of our knowledge. Despite centuries of study, despite the tools of modern science, there are still gaps in the story, still puzzles that resist solution. Perhaps some of these mysteries will one day be explained with new discoveries, technologies, or insights. Perhaps others will remain forever unknowable, lost in the sands of time. What makes Egypt so compelling is not only what we know but what we cannot yet know. The allure of its unsolved mysteries lies in the invitation to imagine, to speculate, and to dream of what secrets might still lie hidden beneath the desert. Egypt stands as a testament to the idea that history is not a closed book but an unfolding story, filled with enigmas that keep us searching, questioning, and marveling at the achievements of a civilization that continues to defy complete understanding. 1. The unanswered question of how the Great Pyramid of Giza was constructed with such precision and massive stone blocks. The Great Pyramid of Giza, built for Pharaoh Khufu around 2500 BCE, is one of the most enduring puzzles in human history. It rises 481 feet above the desert and consists of millions of limestone and granite blocks, some weighing over 70 tons. How these enormous stones were cut, transported, and assembled remains a subject of fierce debate. Traditional explanations involving ramps seem inadequate due to the immense size and complexity required, while alternative theories suggest cranes, counterweights, or even lost technologies. The pyramid's precision, with sides aligned almost perfectly to the cardinal directions and base measurements accurate within inches, shows a level of mathematical and engineering sophistication that seems astonishing for its time. Despite countless studies, no definitive evidence has explained the exact construction methods. The mystery remains a symbol of humanity's ingenuity and a reminder of how much we still do not know about the ancient world. 2. The debate over whether the pyramids were tombs or had alternative purposes beyond burial. Although most Egyptologists describe the pyramids as royal tombs, questions linger because no mummy has ever been found in the Great Pyramid itself. Unlike other burial chambers in the Valley of the Kings, the Great Pyramid lacks extensive inscriptions, artwork, or funerary goods typically associated with tombs. Some scholars argue this could be due to looting in antiquity, but others suspect the pyramid may have had a different primary purpose. Alternative theories range from astronomical observatories to spiritual initiation chambers, or even power generation devices, though mainstream archaeology does not support these claims. The fact that the internal passages, shafts, and hidden voids are unlike anything found in other tombs raises more questions than answers. Were the pyramids multi-purpose structures serving both religious and symbolic roles? Or were they part of a lost tradition that we have yet to fully decode? The debate continues, adding to their timeless enigma. 3. The unexplained erosion patterns on the Sphinx suggesting it may be older than accepted history. The Great Sphinx of Giza, usually attributed to Pharaoh Khafra around 2500 BCE, presents another enduring mystery. Geological studies have shown water erosion patterns on its body that some experts argue could only have been caused by heavy rainfall, which ended in Egypt thousands of years before Khafra's reign. This has led to the controversial hypothesis that the Sphinx may be far older than the pyramids, possibly dating back to 7000 or even 10,000 BCE. If true, this would suggest the existence of a lost civilization with advanced artistic and engineering abilities long before known Egyptian history. Mainstream Egyptologists reject this theory, arguing the erosion could have been caused by wind or other natural forces. Yet the debate refuses to die, for the evidence appears to challenge conventional timelines and suggests we may be missing a large chapter in human history. 4. The possibility of hidden chambers beneath or inside the Sphinx containing unknown records. Legends from ancient times, including Greek and Arab sources, have long suggested that the Sphinx guards hidden chambers filled with knowledge, sometimes referred to as the Hall of Records. Modern investigations using ground-penetrating radar have revealed anomalies beneath the Sphinx, which some interpret as evidence of undiscovered tunnels or rooms. However, Egyptian authorities have been cautious about conducting large-scale excavations, citing the need to preserve the monument. If such chambers exist, they might contain texts, artifacts, or even records that could revolutionize our understanding of Egypt and perhaps the wider ancient world. The possibility of hidden knowledge beneath one of the world's most iconic statues fuels speculation ranging from lost civilizations to alien theories. Until conclusive exploration is undertaken, the Sphinx will continue to sit in silence, guarding its secrets beneath the sands of time. 5. The mysterious, dendrite carvings that some believe show evidence of ancient electrical technology. In the Temple of Hathor at Dendera, reliefs show figures holding what appear to be large bulb-shaped objects connected to snakes and lotus stems. While mainstream scholars argue these images are symbolic, representing aspects of Egyptian mythology, alternative theorists claim the resemblance to modern light bulbs is too striking to dismiss. The so-called Dendera light has become central to speculation that the Egyptians may have possessed some form of electricity or illumination technology. Supporters argue that such technology would explain the absence of soot marks inside tombs and temples, since torches and oil lamps leave residue. Critics counter that mirrors and simple lamps were sufficient. Still, the imagery sparks imagination, especially when paired with other unexplained artifacts from the ancient world. Whether symbolic or literal, the Dendera carvings remain one of the strangest and most debated pieces of evidence in Egyptology. 6. The secrets of mummification techniques that modern science still cannot fully replicate. The process of mummification developed by the Egyptians was astonishingly advanced, preserving bodies for thousands of years. Modern analyses reveal complex mixtures of resins, oils, and minerals, some of which were imported from distant lands, suggesting extensive trade networks. In some cases, preservation is so effective that even tattoos and hair remain visible. Yet scientists still struggle to replicate these methods with the same success. Certain mummies show evidence of techniques that appear inconsistent with what is described in ancient texts, leading to speculation that embalmers possessed secret knowledge now lost. Why did the Egyptians place such importance on preserving the body? Beyond their religious beliefs in the afterlife, could there have been scientific or symbolic reasons we have yet to understand? The mystery of mummification reflects both their mastery of chemistry and the limits of our knowledge today. 7. Strange artifacts like the Saqqara bird that resemble possible evidence of ancient flight knowledge. Discovered in a tomb near Saqqara, a small wooden object dating to around 200 BCE has become known as the Saqqara bird. At first glance it appears to be a stylized falcon, but its shape, with straight wings and a vertical tail, resembles that of a glider. Some researchers argue it demonstrates an early understanding of aerodynamics, perhaps even used as a model for flight experiments. Mainstream Egyptologists dismiss this idea, saying it was likely a toy, a ceremonial item, or simply a symbolic representation of a bird. Nonetheless, flight has fascinated humanity for millennia, and the possibility that the Egyptians explored it is intriguing. Could it be evidence of a forgotten experiment? Or is its resemblance to modern designs merely coincidence? The Saqqara bird remains a tantalizing object that fuels debates about what the ancients may have known. 8. Hieroglyphs at Abydos that appear to depict modern vehicles, sparking theories of lost knowledge. In the Temple of Seti I at Abydos, hieroglyphs appear to show shapes resembling helicopters, airplanes, and submarines. Photographs of these carvings have circulated widely, fueling claims that the Egyptians had knowledge of technology far beyond their time. Scholars explain this phenomenon as a palimpsest, where older carvings were plastered over and later recarved, leaving behind overlapping images that coincidentally resemble modern machines. Still, the uncanny likenesses make some wonder if the Egyptians were depicting something they actually saw or knew about. Could it be that these carvings represent ancient technological prototypes, or perhaps knowledge inherited from a forgotten civilization? While mainstream archaeology rejects such ideas, the Abydos hieroglyphs remain one of the most discussed examples of supposed anachronistic imagery in ancient Egypt. 9. The unclear circumstances surrounding the young death of Tutankhamun and his unusual burial. Tutankhamun, who ruled Egypt as a boy king, died at the age of 18 or 19 under mysterious circumstances. Some studies suggest genetic disorders caused by inbreeding, while others point to a broken leg, malaria, or even assassination. His burial also raises questions. His tomb is smaller and less elaborate than expected for a pharaoh, leading many to believe it was prepared hastily. Recent scans have hinted at the possibility of hidden chambers behind the tomb walls, which could contain undiscovered treasures or even the burial of Queen Nefertiti. Tutankhamun's mummy shows signs of unusual chemical reactions, possibly from a botched embalming process, adding further intrigue. While his treasures dazzled the world, his short life and unexplained death remain an open mystery. 10. The legendary Curse of the Pharaohs, linked to Tutankhamun's tomb and others. When Howard Carter opened Tutankhamun's tomb in 1922, stories spread that a curse had been unleashed. Several people connected to the excavation died under unusual circumstances, including Lord Carnarvon, who funded the expedition, giving rise to the idea of a deadly Curse of the Pharaohs. Though many dismiss this as coincidence or sensationalism, it captured global imagination and became part of the legend. Some scientists suggest that toxic mold or bacteria sealed inside the tomb for millennia might have played a role, but the mystery persists. The idea of a curse speaks to humanity's fascination with the supernatural and the respect ancient Egyptians held for the sanctity of the tomb. Whether coincidence, science, or something unexplainable, the Curse of the Pharaohs remains one of the most famous stories associated with Egypt's mysteries. 11. The rapid rise of Egyptian civilization and speculation about lost or inherited knowledge. Egypt seemed to emerge suddenly as a sophisticated civilization around 3100 BCE, with writing, monumental architecture, and complex religion already established. How did such advanced culture appear so quickly? Some scholars believe the Egyptians inherited knowledge from earlier cultures, perhaps now lost to history. Others suggest survivors of an ancient global catastrophe may have carried wisdom to the Nile Valley. More controversial theories involve connections to Atlantis or extraterrestrial influence, though these lack evidence. Regardless, the leap from pre-dynastic tribes to a unified, technologically advanced kingdom is striking. Could there have been an earlier civilization in North Africa whose legacy seeded Egypt's greatness? Until more archaeological evidence emerges, the origins of Egypt's rapid rise remain one of the enduring mysteries of human history. 12. The encoded spiritual and scientific principles hidden within Egyptian religion and texts. Egyptian religion was deeply symbolic, blending mythology, astronomy, mathematics, and philosophy into an intricate system. Concepts like Ma'at, representing cosmic order and balance, may encode scientific principles expressed through spiritual language. Texts such as the Book of the Dead describe the soul's journey after death, but some researchers interpret them as allegories for spiritual transformation or even scientific metaphors. Temples were built with astronomical alignments, suggesting advanced knowledge of celestial cycles. Did the Egyptians embed scientific truths within religious myths to preserve their knowledge? Or were their gods and rituals symbolic expressions of natural laws? The blending of spirituality and science in Egyptian culture is so seamless that it is often difficult to separate myth from potential hidden wisdom. 13. The mystery of lost tombs, including Cleopatra's and Alexander the Great's. Despite centuries of searching, the tombs of some of the most famous figures of antiquity remain undiscovered. Cleopatra, the last pharaoh of Egypt, and her lover Mark Antony were said to have been buried together, yet their resting place has never been found. If discovered, it could yield priceless insight into Egypt's last dynasty. Similarly, Alexander the Great's tomb, once located in Alexandria and reportedly visited by ancient leaders like Julius Caesar, has been lost to history. The discovery of either tomb would be a groundbreaking event, reshaping our understanding of Egypt's later history and its connection to the Mediterranean world. These lost burials remind us that much of Egypt's story still lies hidden beneath the sands and ruins, waiting to be revealed. 14. The advanced medical knowledge preserved in papyri, mixing science with magic. Egyptian medical papyri, such as the Edwin Smith papyrus, reveal a remarkable level of medical knowledge. They describe diagnoses, surgical techniques, and treatments that seem far ahead of their time, including the use of honey as an antiseptic and methods of setting fractures. At the same time, many remedies included spells and magical incantations, showing how science and spirituality were intertwined. This raises questions about the origins of their medical knowledge. Was it derived from experimentation, or did it come from inherited wisdom? Some practices anticipate modern medicine, while others appear strange or mystical. The blending of rational and magical approaches makes it difficult to fully interpret their methods. Egypt's medical achievements highlight both their advanced understanding and the limits of our knowledge about how they developed it. 15. The astonishing durability of Egyptian monuments compared to modern structures. The pyramids, temples, and obelisks of Egypt have endured for thousands of years, outlasting countless civilizations and natural disasters. How were they built to last so long? Some researchers believe the use of high-quality limestone and granite, combined with precise construction methods, gave them unmatched stability. Others suggest the Egyptians may have used advanced stone hardening techniques or even a form of ancient concrete, though this remains debated. Compared to modern buildings, which often deteriorate in centuries, Egyptian monuments seem almost indestructible. Their survival raises questions about whether the Egyptians had knowledge of material science beyond what we recognize. The enduring nature of their monuments continues to impress architects and engineers, demonstrating skills that remain partly mysterious to this day. 16. The advanced stone cutting and construction techniques showing almost impossible precision. Many Egyptian temples and pyramids feature stone blocks fitted so tightly that even a blade cannot pass between them. Some cuts appear to have been made with remarkable accuracy, leading to speculation about what tools were used. While copper chisels and stone hammers are the conventional explanation, skeptics argue these would not have been sufficient to carve granite and basalt with such precision. The presence of drill holes and smooth surfaces suggest techniques not fully understood. Were the Egyptians using advanced tools that have been lost to time, or did they develop ingenious methods with the materials available? The evidence points to a level of craftsmanship that continues to puzzle experts, fueling speculation about lost technologies or forgotten engineering principles. 17. Theories about Egypt's potential connection to other lost civilizations or advanced cultures. Some researchers believe Egypt's rapid rise and advanced achievements may have been influenced by connections to other civilizations, possibly ones now lost. The idea that Egypt could have inherited knowledge from Atlantis, or from survivors of a global catastrophe, remains popular in alternative history circles. There are also suggestions of cultural links to Mesopotamia, the Indus Valley, or even civilizations far across the oceans. While mainstream scholars attribute Egypt's achievements to local innovation, the possibility of cross-cultural exchanges, whether real or legendary, remains an open question. Could Egypt have been part of a larger network of knowledge sharing in the ancient world? Until more evidence emerges, these theories remain speculative but deeply compelling. 18. The discovery of unexplored voids, tunnels, and hidden chambers that hint at deeper secrets. Modern scanning technology has revealed anomalies inside the Great Pyramid and beneath temples and tombs across Egypt. In 2017, scientists detected a massive void inside the Great Pyramid using cosmic ray imaging, though its purpose and contents remain unknown. Similar surveys have revealed hidden tunnels beneath the Sphinx and other monuments. These discoveries suggest that much of Egypt's story is still literally buried. If these chambers are ever explored, they might reveal lost texts, artifacts, or insights that could revolutionize our understanding of the civilization. For now, these hidden spaces remain tantalizing clues that Egypt still holds secrets beneath its stone monuments, waiting to be uncovered. 19. The unresolved purpose of many artifacts and symbols that defy simple explanation. Egyptian tombs and temples are filled with objects whose functions are not entirely understood. Some items may have been ritualistic, while others could have been practical tools. Strange carvings, unusual statues, and enigmatic objects like stone vessels cut with incredible precision raise questions about their true purpose. Were they ceremonial, symbolic, or did they serve technological roles now forgotten? Even symbols and hieroglyphs can be ambiguous, with multiple layers of meaning that resist straightforward interpretation. These unresolved questions remind us that our perspective may be limited, and that the Egyptians operated within a worldview vastly different from our own. 20. The enduring appeal of Egyptian mysteries that continue to challenge historians and inspire speculation. Ultimately, the greatest mystery of ancient Egypt may be why it continues to capture our imagination. Perhaps it is the combination of grandeur and enigma, the towering pyramids, the silent Sphinx, the golden treasures, and the unanswered questions. For every discovery, new puzzles emerge, ensuring that Egypt's story is never fully told. Historians, archaeologists, and adventurers are drawn to it because it challenges our understanding of what ancient humans were capable of. Egypt reminds us that history is not static but alive with questions, and its mysteries may never be fully solved. That uncertainty is part of what makes it so endlessly fascinating and ensures that the secrets of ancient Egypt will continue to inspire awe for generations to come.